Ready when you are.
Hey guys, here we are. I'm going to be talking about the budget today at the family fun day. I've got my two walking human billboards. I've got my little boy around me. I'm multitasking, campaigning, babysitting, running a business, you name it, we're doing it. Up since 5 a.m, but we're loving life. Just a couple of things on this terrible budget. First and foremost, the numbers are not real. It's only a budget. The last actual numbers that came out was 2 years ago, which showed a $11 million deficit. Couple of things, rates went up 5% last year and 4% the year before that. On average, people are paying $50 a week on council rates. It's a lot of money in today's cost of living crisis. For what? Having a look at the budget, the little Liberal mayor has not tightened his belt. He's still got his 6 advisors in his office on $2 million a year, costing the ratepayers, just so he can get his mug on TV. These guys I'm paying for myself, not the ratepayers. He's also spending $1 million a year on events just so he can look good in front of the ratepayers. Let alone I can see potholes everywhere, the grass is not mowed at this park. It's terrible. Once again, there's an asbestos issue, costing ratepayers $3.2 million. When I was on council and I was deputy mayor in 2016, we had the same problem. This incompetent little Liberal mayor cannot look after the local area when it comes to asbestos. Also, I noticed the ratios. Council is operating outside the industry standard operating performance ratio. What that means is council can't manage its spending. In the next year and the next 6 years after that, it's outside the ratio, telling me and all the ratepayers it can't control its costs. So what does the little Liberal mayor do? He wants to sell assets that are owned by the ratepayers just so he can control his spending. Now let me put it to you. If you've got a credit card debt, would you sell your house to pay your credit card debt? You wouldn't. He's got in the budget to sell $90 million worth of council property which is owned by the ratepayers. $90 million. Now, in 10 years' time, those same assets are going to be worth $180 million. But this incompetent little Liberal mayor cannot manage a budget of $350 million. He wants to sell assets just so he doesn't have to have a deficit because he can't control his spending. Furthermore, if I have a look at some of the other ratios, the council's borrowed $200 million on a new building just so the mayor can have a new ivory office. $200 million. Each and every one of these ratepayers, I think that works out to be $3,000 per family. That $200 million could have been spent on better roads. Who wants to be sitting in traffic 3 hours a day to and from work because our roads are crap? I would have invested that money in roads, not an ivory tower for the mayor. Furthermore, that same building that they borrowed $200 million worth, the ratepayer is losing $1.6 million every year because it can't fill the empty office space. Who builds a building for $200 million without having the area fully leased? Well, ratepayers, your little Liberal mayor is costing you guys $1.6 million on an empty office space because no one wants to go there. Furthermore, I'm just having a look at a few other things. Council is also operating outside the building and infrastructure renewal ratios for the next 10 years. What that means is the ratepayers' assets like parks, roads are not being improved and are being neglected. This is in the document. It's all in red. You can't hide away from it. This little Liberal mayor needs to go before basically he destroys the place. Also, I've noticed in the budget, legal fees have gone up 40%. Remember that story in the Daily Telegraph, how the mayor wants to get $50,000 of his legal fees paid by the ratepayers? Well, legal fees have gone up 40%. Why? So, to finalise, guys, I'll be doing more and more of these videos, keeping you guys up to date. The document that they've released is about 100 pages, full of gloss, but it's crap. Numbers are not real. He's selling $90 million worth of your assets. In 10 years' time, they'll be worth $180 million just so he can pay off this deficit. He can't control his spending. He's got a credit card virtually by the ratepayers, and he needs to sell assets to cover that debt. He's incompetent, both mentally and physically. He cannot do the job. I'm coming for him come September. Let's make Liverpool great again.